Hello, everyone. This is Evie from Definitely Different Podcast. This is like an impromptu episode on no one ever told you about debt. I'm really super excited about this one. It's actually, it seems like a pretty scary topic. But if I'm really honest, it's just like, it's really pure excitement to talk about a topic that most people are afraid to talk about, especially when they are the ones that are in debt. Money is not really a topic where everybody talks about very freely and openly. And to admit that you're in debt, can create massive amounts of shame, guilt, and all of those feelings that come with it. And feeling like you're an absolute complete failure and thinking that everybody got this money thing down except me. And so I would invite you to what is totally right about your current money situation. And if you are in debt, this is the right place to be. Hi, Tina. What is totally right about your debt? And I would like to start with a lot of my tools that I have used to create something different with my financial world are mostly the tools of Access Consciousness. I love the How to Become Money workbook. I will add links to this so you can actually start resourcing yourself, as though this is a briefly touch of what else is possible with your finances. So if you really want to start deep diving into there, I would totally recommend these resources, as I have been. And I will offer you some tools as well to go straight away with it, to change it right now before you even start to read a book. So the How to Become Money workbook, Right Riches for You, is also a book from Access Consciousness published. Money is not the problem, you are. Such a challenging title, because whoever launches a book with the title "Money is not the problem, you are." It's so confrontational, but the book is so freaking spot on. And then there is one that I have been reading for the second time now. It's a very interesting one. It's has been a book that has been recommended by Gary Douglas, who is creator and founder of the Tools of Access Consciousness, and it's called How to Get Out of Debt, Stay Out of Debt, and Live Prosperously. And then there's another one from Simone Molasses, is How to Get Out of Debt Joyfully. It's also a really super cool one. The reason why I'm doing this podcast, impromptu podcast, is I'm doing a 12-week program, and this is not a podcast to tell you that you have to be part of my program. It's just we're starting tonight at week 2, and I'm so excited about this particular one. I actually had the idea before the whole Corona thing and the lockdown came into existence. And how really timely is this? Because if you have been having struggles with your finances and you are in debt, most likely this is the time where you can really start freaking out. Because for a lot of you guys, there will be coming in less money. And I'm sure for a lot of you guys, you will benefit from this. And I think most people are having sort of a struggle, because I remember right before, and this is what Cole's awareness of the future, right before the whole lockdown was announced to the world, I had for 2 weeks absolute panic with my money. And then when I actually realized what was going on with the lockdown, it was total awareness of all the money panic in the whole wide world, because it's the whole wide world that's experiencing the same thing. So yeah, this, what I really like about this book, like I love playing with the tools of access consciousness to change my financial reality, because a lot of it is like clearing and uncreating all the stuff that's like totally locks you up, that gets you in this place where you absolutely see no other possibility than what the word debt is like, meaning it's like very close to be dead. Like how many of you feel like debt is like feeling dead, and there's no other way than to be dead, to get out of debt. And that definitely has sometimes been my reality. And I was like, fuck, I think it's time to die, because I have no idea how to get around this. And this is the beautiful, it's the beautiful part. And it's a little bit of like, if you're in it, a little bit less. If you are judging yourself dynamically right now for being in debt, you know what happens? You create more debt. Like I've had this scene with myself for so many times, and you can not only relate it to debts, you can, like, with everything that you are judging yourself for right now, it will only grow dynamically. So the more you worry about debt, the more you judge yourself for being in debt, the more debt you will create. Like, and how the fuck do you get out of this? So this is where I really love the tools of access. I will share with you a few very shortly, because it gets you out of the heaviness and all that like stuck energy that doesn't get you anywhere, where you're like driving yourself crazy, you're doing rounds and rounds in your head. And the thing is, like, if your mind could have computed the solution to the problem, wouldn't you already had to found a totally easy way to get out of it? So that's like basically the first tool ever. Like, never believe what your mind tells you to. It's a big fat lie. And then there is the practice of money. And you don't, this used to be like my struggle, where I thought, like, you know, I never been really good with mathematics. I hated it in school. It was it was like I couldn't really get it, like a to the b to the second. But I've I literally had nightmares of that. And you don't need to have like a bachelor degree of anything, of economics or anything of that. Like, getting practical on money is basically like really knowing, it's not about like even like A plus B plus C. It's about having like total clarity where your finances are right now, how much is coming in, how much is going out every month, and then even like make like a list what with the debts that you have. I guess I think I forgot to mention this. I wanted to say this, but then I forgot about it. The founder and creator of the tools of access consciousness calls it past expenditures, which I really love it. It takes away all the judgment. So this is like one tool to, how do you get away of this judgment? Don't call it debt anymore, because like, how aware, or even if you don't know you're aware, how aware are you of all the people that have this like killing, like suffocating feeling, like you're drowning energy that comes with the word. So what if you from now on start calling it past expenditures? So you make a list of the past expenditures that you have from like the last month. That's like it's like a list where you have like all your things that come in, all the things that come out, and a list of your past expenditures. Just like basics. And then the book, How to Get Out of Debt, Stay Out of Debt and Live Prosperously, makes it a little bit more, it's like a really like, it's based on a 12-step program that's called Debtors Anonymous. That it's like a really program that gets you step per step to like really start, like it explains what debt is, what it isn't, the different types of debt, all the excuses that you use, like why you're not the one that could get out of debt. And like all of that kind of a stuff. And then the things that you can start doing, the steps to get the clarity. Because this is like, clarity is like the you have like the antidote, and then you have like the opposite of antidote. Like clarity is the way to go if you want to change anything. And this is what doesn't happen with a lot of people with money and debt, is because there's like a lot of blame, shame, regret, guilt. You hide it, you avoid it, and most definitely you don't talk about it with anyone. And the thing is, like, it's like this huge big secret, and the secret secrets don't change anything. Like it doesn't create an energetic space to really start something different to show up for you. There's like no space or window for the universe to give you a different possibility how to go with money. So let's start be clear. Where are you? And these lists, making these lists is like a great place to it. And then as Tina says here in the comments, like you clear your judgment, you clear your judgments. I will tell something about that as well a little bit later on. I want to do this a little bit structured. I'm making some notes in the meanwhile. I did my homework with this. Like I really wanted this to be. So if there's like any questions, please say them, because that's like the awesome thing about having this podcast live, is that people can ask questions. So yeah, total clarity. And I wanted to have like a little other thing that I wanted to give to you as well. It's like what's underneath that debt. Like it doesn't come out of nothing. I remember, like, I think my adolescent years, I always had money. Like I always like had so much money. But the thing was, I never was really clear of what was coming in and what was coming out. I had like this huge savings accounts that I would like take off money from time to time when I wanted to like spoil myself. I had two big holes in my hands. Like if I felt like I felt bad or I felt guilty or I needed to have like a boost. I needed to boost myself and feeling good. I would buy. Like I was definitely like a very emotional, big spender. And that being said, even though I always had money, I had definitely no clarity. And I was pretty much ashamed for the majority of it for having money. And people that were close to me were kind of like abusing me with that as well. Like they were using it as a way to control me. I even had like, and I'm not making anybody wrong. Like it's like the tools that we grew up with. That this is like this, why this is so good to like really get to the depth of it, like all the insanity that we have with money. So I had like a lot of boyfriends as well that were like really making me wrong for having money. And they were like, and even like friends, like you have it so easy, Evie. Pay me. It's so funny that at one point I think I was living in Australia. I was so ashamed for having that money. Like I was living as a hippie. Nobody knew that I had like a lot of money. And I wasn't spending that much. I was just like, trying a totally different lifestyle. And then at one point I was like done with the guilt, and I told it someone. And then I created a person in my world that was very interested in all of that money. I told one person that told another person, and that other person wanted to was like, yeah, well, I'll have her money. And so I experienced a lot of abuse and control with money. And before I knew it, in like less than a year, I think like in 6 months, most of the money was gone. And it was actually the first step for me to like, fuck, there is something there that's going on for me. And I wasn't really willing to look at it till a few years later, because there was for me, this is like, what is your current financial reality showing you about you? And what the abuse in my world and then the money was showing me, like, was I wasn't willing to be in charge of my life. I wasn't willing to be in control. And But later, a few years later, I had to acknowledge, like, I hadn't chosen to live yet. Like, I wasn't choosing to live, like, at all. And I kept struggling with debt, in and out. And at one point, I was in such dynamic self-judgments that I demanded of myself, fuck, this needs to change. Like, this is not working. I was fed up with myself, of judging myself all the time. I always made myself less than other people, made myself inferior. And they're like a lot of like feeling like worthless. And no wonder, like, there's like this really cool thing that Dr. Dane here, his like co-creator of Access Consciousness, is that it's I think like it's goes in the circles of poverty is not about the money. It's like the lack of being that you enforce on yourself. And that is such a totally different take on money and poverty and debt. And then in the book, the guy that reads the book that writes the book, that I now forgotten his name, also tells about like what are the underlying issues that what do you feel about yourself? Do you feel great about you? Do you feel worthless about you? Because like if you don't value yourself, like, why would you have any money in your life? Like, if you don't value you, there's not going to come in money to support you. I had like a little while ago a talk about it, and it goes like very shortly, like, there's a party, and what if money is like a bunch of your friends, and you're at this party, and you judge yourself so badly, and you don't feel good, and it's like an energy that it spreads out. Like, people perceive what you're thinking, even if you don't think so. It is like people actually feel what goes on in your head. And a lot of people think that those things are like real. They never question who does it belong to. So most people, if they perceive your judgments, they think they are judging you. And you create like a lot of separation. And it's the same like with money. It's with friends and money, like, they don't come hang out with you. Like, if you think you suck and you're worthless, or whatever that's going on in your mind that isn't valuing you and empowering you, this is exactly what will show up or not show up. And in this case, what if debt is actually an indicator of like, hey, like, how fucking powerful are you to create that amount of debt? And I would even say, like, the more debt you're in, like, how fucking powerful are you? And what are you dynamically refusing? What are you dynamically refusing about you that, if you wouldn't refuse it anymore, would allow the money to show up with ease? I'm reading this question of Tina. What would be the best question clearing to use with debt to get a bit more lightness? Because it's such a heaviness with debt. There's like a bunch of tools. But what really pops up that's like light, simple, and clear with all of the debt to receive more lightness, like, really, who does it belong to? Like, who does this belong to? And who are you being with money? Most of the times you will start to acknowledge that you're not being you with money. You learned a lot from your parents, from past lifetimes. You learn a lot from people around you. Because the thing is, like, if you're really aware like me, most people don't talk about their money situation, but you are aware. Like, I don't know many people who have like a really cool, light, sane way with money. So how aware are you? Who does it belong to? Like, really, who does it belong to? And who are you being with money? And a great question. I've heard it from the first time from Shannon O'Hara, who's really brilliant with money, by the way, if I would have my reality with money, what would that be like? If I would have my reality with money, what would that be like? So why am I really using the word be? Because being is like an energy, and you don't want you don't want to use the word look like, because that will bring in images. It will bring in expectations. And the thing is with expectations and images and that, it's like, it's a computation of your mind. And if you would have been able to fix it with your mind, you wouldn't be here right now. So your mind, you have to drop it. It's not working. So what you want to do, what you want to address with the B, if I would have my reality with money, what would that be like? You start to open up an energetic space that you have never learned. It's not in your energetic vocabulary. It's not in your energetic dictionary. It's new for you. It's probably, most likely, it can be really uncomfortable, because it's, if it would have been comfortable, you would have already chosen it. So that is like a really cool question to like start opening up the space of that energy of what your financial, sorry, I got sidetracked with a message. It's actually about the series that I'm doing tonight. You might, and if you ask that question, it's not about the straight answer that comes, up straight away. Like, give it time. Like, I have been asking that question, I think, for like 2 years or 3 years. And it's only been very recently that I really got that my reality with money is space. It's ease in space. And what's the opposite of ease in space? It's contraction. It's being constantly in your mind. So it's a cool question to start playing and ask regularly, and it will come to you. You will know. And everything that doesn't allow you to know, use the clearing statement to address that energy, good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, buckle, natures, boys and yawns. So that's one thing. And I've been sharing with you quite some tools. So there's the books that I told you. There's like Ditch Your Mind. That's another tool. Never, ever believe your mind. One of the things that I also want to add is move your body, move things in your life, move things in your business. Like, what can you let go of in your life? Like, who can you let go of? What can you let go of in your life? It's also like a way of like moving stuff around in your life. Because the thing is, I love Einstein, has a definition of insanity. Insanity is choosing the same thing all over again and hoping for a different result. So what can you start choosing today differently that you haven't been choosing before? That will shift those heavy blocks of limitations, that will make space, that will give the universe a space to offer you different possibilities. So in that is like, what if you can always ask a question? What if you can always ask this question? Even as simple as, how does it get any better than this? What else is possible here? What else is possible that I don't think is possible, that if I would allow the possibilities, would actualize a totally different reality with money? And everything that doesn't allow it, use the clearing statement again. You can go to www.theclearingstatement.com to clear the blockages and the limitations that keeps it from like happening. Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, buckle, nine shirts, boys and beyonds. Also a great one, and it might it's like, never listen to the people you're not inspired. You never listen to people you're not inspired by. Like, literally, like, if you listen to people and you're not inspired by the way they treat people, by the way they go with money, by the way they choose their choices in life, by like anything, why would you fucking want to listen to somebody who you're not inspired by? And this is like a tool that's come from Shannon O'Hara that I really love, is like, don't listen to people you're not inspired by. Why would you rather check out the people that you are really inspired by, and like, what are they doing that you're not doing. And this is where you start like really like self-educating yourself, which is totally fun and exciting. So who else is out there? Like who are like, again, a question like, who can I speak to? Like who else is out there that will give me information that is required for me to change my current financial reality? And everything that doesn't allow that for those people to come to you, good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, pockle, shirts, boys and yells. A really cool one to create space, because that was one of Tina's questions. What do you do to create space? Well, first of all, clear judgments. So this is if these tools like really like excite you, they sound weird. Like if you've never heard of this before, they fucking sound super weird. But if you want to know more about this, you go to accessconsciousness.com. You can go to www.theclearingstatement.com, and you can start like with having your bars run, or go to an Access Bars class. It's probably not will be happening now with a lockdown, but when the lockdown is over, you can totally choose that. I totally recommend it. It changed my life. I started with it 5 years ago. I ran my bars. I think a little bit before I heard the weird phrases and the good and bad, right and wrong. I thought it was super weird, but somehow it stick. And then a few weeks or months later, I had my first class. In there, you will learn the bars. The bars is such a great way to create space in your world. I don't know what I would do if bars weren't in my world. I really noticed the difference with this total lockdown, where, the bars are not available for the moment, and how does it get any better than this? So have your bars run and clear your judgments. So a cool one is all the judgments that I have of me right now, all the judgments that I have of me in regards to money, all the judgments that I have of my debt right now. I now uncreate and destroy. Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, buckle, and shirts, boys and meons. It's as simple as that. And you just do it as much as you want to do. You can do it like 50 times a day. Like I would invite you to like really use this tool for 1 month, so you start to see the difference. And you'll know. And once you'll know, everybody can tell you shit, you'll know. Nobody can overpower you anymore, you'll know. And that's the cool thing with these tools of access and asking a question and using the clearing statement. Once you know, there's no stopping you. So yeah. And another cool tool, and I have to really thank Heather Nichols for really introducing this, being interesting point of view with money. So a quick way how to really use this tool is when you, so for example, you have thoughts about money, and these thoughts are like, it's overwhelmed, you're judging yourself, you're like, you're like panicking, fuck, like all of that. So what do is you're going to address the energy that comes with that. And you say, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. And choose right now, do it with me. Is there like anything in your world with money that like really is fucking panicking you out, like it's freaking you out? Yeah. Be present with it, be present of the energy. And now address the energy. Interesting point of view. It's like you're talking to the energy. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. And can you start sensing the lightness? Every time you say it, there is more lightness available. And this is how you start using, well, thank you, Mara. You're so amazing too for being here. And the thing is with like, maybe you have like, if this is the first time you hear about like lightness and heaviness, like what the fuck is that with lightness? The thing is, like, when you go, lightness is your true nature. Go and check in the world of an animal. Check in with the trees. Check in with the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. That could be a song. Wink. It's space. It's space. And then check into people's universes. Check into people's universes about money. Is it light or is it heavy? And the thing is, it's heavy. It's heavy. It's just a lot of points of views. And I'm going to use Gary, because Gary Douglas is one of those people that like has such a light energy with money. Tap into his world about money and compare it to what you think about your financial world, and compare it to what your family thinks about money. What a difference. And Gary creates money. He is so different with money, like really totally not from this planet. So he's actually one of the people that I am inspired by, like what he creates with money. And that's why I love his stuff so much. Like, he walks his talk, and there's something about it with his tools and his body of work with all of this. Access consciousness is empowering, not only for you, but it's empowering for the whole world. And yeah, like what is your reality with money? What is your reality with money? And everything that doesn't allow you to be it, to perceive it, to know it, and to receive it. Will you uncreate and destroy that times God's setting, good and bad, right and wrong, put and buckle natures, boys and yawns, and push your barriers down. You can actually, a thought is a barrier. So all the thoughts that you have, push them down. Be like the trees. It sucks. I think Mara is like it sucks is about tapping into other people's reality with money. So I think this is it. If I am going to add some links, and if the practicals of money, if this is something that interests you, that you would like to start like really dive into, I have a 12-week program. It's like 3 months. It's with a monthly prescription of 25 euros. I made it very super friendly for this time, for these specific times. And it's like 12 weeks of reading the book. It's with recordings as well, like how to get out of debt, stay out of debt, and live prosperously, with home play. And there will be every 4 weeks, there will be a free forum where like interactive Zoom, where we like ask questions and all the stuff that comes up, and then like really address it with the tools of access. And I'm really excited. Tonight, I think in like 3 hours and a half, we start session number 2. So I'm just really excited. I'm just so excited that wow, like what have you all made wrong about us that's actually strong about us? If you suck with money, like really, what is right about this that you're not getting yet? and that's it. Like, I would like, read a book, educate yourself, play with questions, really what else is possible. So that's it for today, folks. How does it get any better than that? Until the next podcast. Oh, and I'm actually doing, it's not a podcast, it's a different Facebook Live. It's about creating your life, getting back to basics with the tools of foundation. I'm going to do it with Tatiana, the lovely French Tatiana Santini. I've shared it. I think I'm going to share it right now on my wall, my EV Mobouck wall, if you want to check it out. And this will be like a half hour of some awesome tools as well, especially in these times. Creation is, you're like at home. We don't have any excuses anymore. This is like now the time to really, create every day. So, bye.